We're going to learn more sounds of E today. EU has a long U sound of U or U, depending on what letter it comes after. In these words, it uses the U sound, like in Euro, Europe. Notice this O is not long. Feud, feudal, deuce. The C says S because of the E. Deuce means two. Q, that's a word that means a line. And eulogy. A eulogy is a speech given at a funeral. In these words, the EU has the second long U sound of U, like in neutral. Note that the AL at the end of a word often sounds more like ul. Neutron, leukemia. This I has a long E sound before the A. Neurotic. This PH will say F, and this I will also have a long E sound. Euphoria. Euphoria means extreme happiness. Maneuver. This CH will use the French sh sound. Chauffeur. A chauffeur is a driver. There are also some prefixes that use the U sound of EU, like neuro, which means brain, and pseudo. Note that this P is silent. Pseudo means false. But be careful not to get tricked. You need to watch out for prefixes and compound words. Like right here we have an EU, but the E is part of the prefix re, so we have the word reuse and reunite. Right here we have an E and a U, but they're from two separate words, the words line and up that make line up, and here we have the word makeup. There are also some words from Latin that split between the E and the U, like museum, petroleum, nucleus, Colosseum. Colosseum spelled this way refers to a stadium or amphitheater. Colosseum spelled this way with a capital C refers to the specific amphitheater in Rome. If you see an EI, try the long A sound first, like in the words there and theirs with the th sound. In these words, the G and H are going to be silent. 8, 80, way, wait, veil, heir. This word heir means somebody who inherits something. Freight, notice the silent GH, where freight refers to goods being shipped. Heinous, although OU usually says ow, OUS at the end of a word is pronounced us. Something that is heinous is shockingly evil. Vein, this vein refers to a blood vessel. Reign with a silent G, which refers to royal authority. And in this word, GH is going to be silent. Neighbor. Notice that OR at the end of a word can sound more like EI can have some other sounds as well. But like I said, try the long A sound first. In these words, it's muffled and more of a schwa sound. Foreign, forfeit, counterfeit. In these words, it's going to have a long I sound. Note that GH will be silent in these words, just like it is in most English words. So we have height, slight. Slight means deceitful craftiness. Feisty. A feisty person is fidgety or tends to argue or be aggressive. Seismic, which means caused by an earthquake. A heist is an armed robbery, and a Geiger counter is a tool used for finding radiation. Here are some words where EI has a long E sound, like in weird. Seize. Seize means to forcefully take something or someone. Leisure. Notice that this SURE is pronounced jure. Leisure refers to free time. This word could be pronounced with a long E sound as either or with a long I sound as either. The same with this word. It can be neither or neither. And here we have protein. If you have CEI, it's going to have a long E sound. And the C is going to have its soft sound of S. So if you see a CEI in a word, it's pronounced like the word C. So here we have ceiling, conceive, receive, deceive, receipt. This P is silent. And perceive. In all of these words ending in VE, the E is just there to keep the V from being the last letter because English words generally do not end in the letter V. Don't get tricked by compound words and suffixes. In these words here, I have marked the suffixes. So here we have a root B, and we've had ing, and we have being. So although we have the E and I together, it does not have a long A sound. Here we have seeing. Here we have two compound words, herein and wherein. Note that in most of the United States, this H is silent. Here we have eyeing, fleeing, and atheist, where these two letters have their long sounds. If we have EY at the end of a shorter word, try the long A sound, like in the word they, hay, prey. This word prey means an animal caught for food. Whey, note the silent H again. Whey is an ingredient left over from making cheese. Obey, UR says so we have survey and convey. In these two words, the EY will have a long I sound, geyser and I. A geyser is a hole in the ground that water shoots up from. In most words, EY is going to have a long E sound. For example, in all of these words, the EY is a suffix. Here we have the root word bone, and we added the suffix Y to get the word bony with a long E sound. Here we have the root dice. We add the Y, we get dicey. Here we have piney, nosy, where the S has its second sound of Z, and smile plus E becomes smiley. EY can have a long E sound at the end of a few shorter words, such as key, the name Joey, and this Joey that refers to a baby kangaroo. EY at the end of longer words usually has a long E sound. In these three words, the O is going to schwa and sound like a short U. So we have money, honey, and monkey. Here we have alley, which is a narrow street, especially between buildings. Although ALL at the end of a word usually says all, before a vowel, it has the short A sound of al instead of the broad A sound of all. That will be true in this word too. So here we have galley. This double O will have the oo sound, so we get gooey. Something that's gooey is wet and sticky. Barley, which is a type of grain, and valley. UR says so we have turkey, hockey, kidney, volleyball. Here the ALL is at the end of a word, so it's all instead of al, like in these two words. EW says oo or you, so here we have New Jersey. S has the Z sound. Chimney, this OUR is going to say and we have the word journey. EY is sometimes used at the end of names, where it will have a long E sound, like in the name Riley, Whitney, note the silent H in most of the US, Casey, AI says A, Bailey, Harvey, and Barney. And here are some last names that use EY at the end: Langley, Ridley, and Sweeney. If you found this useful, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with friends who have kids who are learning to read.